You're just like your mother.
Well, because I play my games out in the living room here, and this is Missy's rig, my girl, and she streams here. She plays, fucking Animal Crossing and other games that children play.
Things she learns at school.
Yeah. And we never want it where if somebody's on streaming that the other person can't. So Fios does have a pretty good internet service.
Yeah, I've got a gig here now, which I really like.
It's amazing.
I'm south of Atlanta nowadays, but when I used to live out in the country, I was paying $250 per line, and each line was like 12 megabit down and like 3 megabit up.
Fuck.
So $500 a month for 2 of those lines, and there was no way to like tether them that would work for streaming and what we do here. So one of them was just for my friend, and one of them was for me. Because like there's no way we can share one fucking internet line, $500 a month. Now I've got a gig, and I definitely pay less than, I think I pay like 40, 70, somewhere in there. Like when I
upgraded to a gig recently, my price went down. Like they hide that shit from you. Like, oh yeah, this is that price. Oh, you're on the old plan? They're not going to call you and go, hey, by the way, this is better and cheaper. They're just going to let you keep paying because that's what they do. And, as well they should. I guess they're trying to make a buck.
Yeah, they're trying to make money. That's how it was with Sirius Radio. Like I remember I'd had it for like maybe a year, 16 months. And I wasn't driving the car that I had the Sirius in at the time. I was driving my truck. And so I just neglected to like re-up it whenever the plan ended. And I started driving the car again. So I called them. I was like, yeah, I want to start Sirius back up. And, but I don't want to pay as much this time. And they're like, oh, well, we could do, I don't remember what I was paying at first, like maybe 40 a month. And like, we could do 30 a month. And I was like, yeah, that's still kind of high. Well, how about 22 a month? And if you sign up for a year, and I'm like, that's a lot. And well, we could probably get you to like $7.99 a month if you do it for a year. And I agreed to that, but I feel like if I had just kept going, they'd have been like, you know what?
Just have it.
Having another subscriber would look good to the board. Let's just
we
click
love
this button.
Yeah, they're a weird company because I got them for free right up until July 4th, 2014. And then I had to start paying. I didn't understand why.
And then they even put up a picture.
See, that's when I got fired.
Yeah, I got it.
You see, that's
so weird.
Yeah,
what's funny is that they were so quick on the dime to cut off your service. That's how petty they were.
Instant.
Like, get him out of the building and cut his service off right now.
That was it. I went to 80s on 8 and it was over. You can sign up for all the great channels here at SiriusXM. And I'm like, wait, where's AHA? Where's AHA?
You are not authorized to view this channel. Fuck.
It was like 2 months before you got fired. I checked my internet. Everything seems to be fine. But it was like 2 months before you got fired that I was like, you know what? It's about time I started paying for this service instead of just listening to old YouTube videos. And it was like, you can prepay and save money for 6 months. And I'm like, sure. And it was maybe 3 weeks later that I was driving around. I worked at a fucking rental car company. And so as I'm like driving to someone's house to pick up some fat person who got in a car accident and drive them back.
Hey, at least you had a job.
Yeah, at least I had a job making fucking $30,000 a year. And I was just driving around and then hearing that episode where it's like, Anthony will no longer be with the program. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? Are you shitting me? I'm 3 weeks into a 6 month thing.
Hell of a thing.
It really wasn't worth
six years with doing my own thing. It's so fucking weird. 6 years now in the friggin' I Am Legend version of New York City, which is I just went back to New York on Monday. This is the first week I've been back since everything has happened, and it's just weird, man. The whole city is a little frayed around the edges, coming apart at the seams a bit. It's the strangest thing. There's no businessmen walking around. There's no people that you look and go, all right, they're constructive people that are kind of paying for the city. So restaurants are trying to stay open by putting tables out literally in the street. And no one wants to eat their food in a street in New York City.
Is it where the cars are?
Just where the cars are like having to go around the tables. They set up all those cement barricades so Al-Qaeda couldn't drive trucks into people. And now everyone's just eating in the street. There's heroin addicts everywhere just doing that nod off walk, yelling. I was trying to help out Sullivan's, this Irish place right across the street from the studio. We've been going there for years. So before the show the other day, I got a cheeseburger there. And it's a table underneath one of those tents that you put up for a backyard wedding or something. And I'm eating there. And all I was doing was grabbing my backpack for fear that someone was just going to like punch me and steal it. And watch people within 2 feet of me yelling at each other about drugs and bitches and everything else. I was fucking beside myself. I'm like, I'm never going to do this again. Like this city, and it's not, this will never go back to the way it was. It's done. All the stores they're not just boarded up or anything because of potential riots or anything. The windows are soaped up. You look in, there's no shit in there. It's a stripped building. And that's a lot of places. They could flip the switch tomorrow and say everything's cool. There's just nowhere to go back to. These cities are fucked, like badly fucked. People aren't really talking about that. It's not going to go back when people go, all right, people, COVID's over. We could go back to work. There is no work. There's no buildings. There's no constructed people. Everything's come apart. De Blasio, who's our fucking goofball mayor, has completely screwed up the legal system, everything else. He just flung open the door to Rikers Island. So criminals just walking the street, no bail for anybody. So you get arrested, you're back out on the street. And it's showing. That's not something that 5 years later, they say, or when it happens, they go, we could see effects in 2 to 3 years of this. It's literally 2 to 3 hours. And the shit is already hitting the fan. So we're fucked in New York. I don't know what the other big cities look like because I haven't been there. But if New York City gauge, holy shit, this is going to take a long time to turn this ship around.
I went to Raleigh a few weeks ago. And it was the same sort of thing. It was like this I Am Legend thing. We had a violent protest, so they busted every window. Raleigh's, of course, a lot smaller, so most of it's focused on 1 or 2 streets. And all the windows were busted out. There's plywood. The stores are closed, and everyone's wearing masks. And it's a different scene.
Man, you guys are crazy. St. Louis, we're doing great.
Yeah. Hey, I saw your show. It was awesome.
Murders are down to 1,000 a week.
To begin with, they're just throwing rocks at plywood.
And I was thinking about how funny it would be if I was thinking about collecting. Like I was thinking about trying to get like a fake Twitter thread, like getting a bunch of attention, where I take photos of East St. Louis from like 2012, 2013, and I say that they're all due to the riot, and try and get people like up in arms about it, and then just tell them that they've been lied to. I guess it won't work now, but
you should. What might work? Remember, we were talking about last week, maybe, but it was when Hurricane Katrina happened. Taylor tweeted out. Taylor like edited this footage together where it was footage from the movie 2012 of that that wave that washes over New York City, and like it's halfway up the Empire State Building, just destroying the whole city. And he's like got that juxtaposed with like a news reporter being like, yes, Hurricane Katrina causing major damage across the seaboard, and a lot of people were like, that's fucked too soon. Now you need to do the same thing with someone talking about St. Louis, but just show a picture of Hiroshima.
After the blast,
it was Hurricane Sandy, and the reason people got so mad is because I edited the video and uploaded it while the storm was still happening.
Oh, still going on. Yeah, that was a crazy one.
There were people dying in the streets, and Taylor's tweeting out fucking gag.
It was funny.
It was funny. That's why I'm laughing.
You know what else is nuts? Like knowing that there's no way a major city, and I know New York, that New York could ever pay for anything going on right now. I don't know where any money's coming from. There's no businesses are open. All the executives in these things, they're working from home. So the city's not getting their rent money from that shit. And I come in from Long Island on the train. I have my own personal Long Island Railroad train car. So for $10, all the diesel fuel that thing has to burn to get to New York City is just for me. It's like, hey, my own fucking train. So I know they're not paying for the fucking train.
You're traveling like a fucking Vanderbilt.
Yeah, exactly. The second I hear the train go, that's how much I just paid. That's like now they broke even. Anything more than that is costing them money. The second you hear, that's what I paid for. That's part of the brake drum that I paid. It's so fucking weird, man. It really is. I don't know how this ends.